Linda, you are wearing me out. I just don't understand what it is you want from me. You just want to fight me every bit of the way. I can't make you happy. Come on. We got to go. We got time to clean up this day. You're wearing me out. I just don't understand what you want. And we got to do this now. Good night. What's going on, everybody? Just having a chat with Linda this morning. Of course, she wins. You know how it goes. I need this box. Gotta need that. This is Busted Radio Garage. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry about that little spat Linda and I were having at the beginning of the episode, but you know how she is. She just wears me out. She sticks her feet in the mud and won't work with me at all. But I think we're getting close. So what we've got going on today is kind of showing you what we've got going on with Linda. And what do y'all think of the new Wildfire lift? Turned out pretty snazzy. Still got to put one right here where I'm standing, but I'm working on that. But I got to get my cars running real quick. And those of you that aren't aware of this, I'm going to be giving one of these away very soon. 5,000 subs, we're going to do a drawing and somebody's going to win one. Anyway, enough of that little plug. So after her last run at the Freedom Factory, we go through the whole use. The starter's bad because we usually melt all of that jazz. The shifter cable's melted, and then of course the spark plug wires. And those of you who haven't seen what Linda's spark plug wires look like after one run, well, there you go. They're just gone. I mean, I could go through this whole pack and show you, and it's ridiculous. And that's with 2 sets of heat shields on there. It's just craziness. So we think we have a solution to that. So there's about 2 sets of plugs there, a set of plugs in Linda, and about 3 sets of her old plugs over there in the old donor card. So you figure $200 a set times 3 is 6, 8, about $1,000 worth of spark plug wires there that we use from another company. If you want to figure out who that is, you can go back to my old videos, but I'm not doing it on this one. So we are no longer using them anymore. So, and then as far as Linda's starter goes, in case this is your first time here, we have to take essentially the whole left side of the engine apart. So to get our starter out, they're usually wrapped up inside our headers here. The starter's wrapped up inside the headers along with the starter wire, along with the shift cable. And as you can see, I've got this thing heat shielded to death with DEI's heat shields, and it's still melted through 2 of those and got the cable itself. And then we have to take the headers loose, spark plug wire, or spark plugs out. I mean, it's just a whole mess. Take portion of the exhaust off just for a starter. But we've played this game long enough. We know what we got going on. So I bought a cheapo starter and got it in. And of course it didn't fit. So I tried to modify it and get it in. It still didn't fit. And then one of the ears broke off. So I took this thing and I time braided it about 3/4 across the shop. And then, you know, Linda and I had a chat and I brought it back over here and set it there. So a new $200 starter is now going in the trash. I called Summit, my boy Hal over there, and said, look, this is what I need. I need it here like now. Find me one, get me 2 of them, get them to the house. So hopefully sometime today or in the morning, we will get not one, but a backup starter we're going to keep in the trunk of Linda in case we need it for something. And then hopefully my solution to the spark plug wires is going to be these. So again, I reached out to my boy Hal out there at Summit. And Hal, if you're watching, I appreciate you. You know that. And he said, Chris, we need to give these a shot. So I ordered these, or Hal actually sent these to me. I think they're from Dragonfire. And I'll open these with you. I haven't opened them. I haven't looked at them. I haven't done anything. And we're gonna see what we got going on here. Now I understand they're ceramic plugs. They can hold up to, you know, the whole legal up to 2,000 degrees. But we're gonna take those and then we're gonna heat shield those as well. And hopefully we can get at least a season out of them. I doubt it, but we're gonna try. Let me catch up on Homer real quick. I didn't video all of this because obviously I'm in construction with the shop. I got one lift there. I got another one up on the trailer. I gotta get it down here and get it put together. But we got Homer's new carb on, Edelbrock AV2, and he sounds amazing. We gotta do some fine tuning on it, but other than that, he's ready to go for Bristol. So you will see Homer at Bristol, I think it's sometime next month. And we're gonna run him in the burnout pit up out there with Cletus like we normally do. Now I got a special cool thing for Homer that I'm gonna show you all in a later episode. It's gonna go right up here on top of the car. Think it's gonna look cool, and it's gonna go with the old junkyard dog portion, because you know it's Homer, the junkyard dog. So that'll be kind of cool little thing, especially for the youngins out there watching the show. But anyway, let's get set up and let's see what Hal sent us. All right, like I said, this is from Summit. And this is what they recommend as our permanent or seasonal spark plug wires for Linda. And if I could get a season out of them, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll be tickled to death. I mean, just a season, or a half a dozen runs anyway. This, you know, between a starter, a shifting cable, and the spark plug wires, that's 2, 4, 5, right around $600 in parts every time we do a burnout, not including the tires. So then you add another couple hundred there. You know, so it gets pretty expensive after a while. Let's drag this out. Oh, we got bubble paper. Well, we got more bubble paper. Good night. Oh, we got a receipt. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold on to that one. All right. Well, we got a special little wire tool. I only have like 18 of these in my toolbox, but I guess we're gonna have another one. All right, don't need that anymore. All right, here's what they sent us. Dragonfire Performance Products 1000 series. And this is supposed to be like the bee's knees for Linda, if that makes sense. All right, so all of this came, that big box worked its way down to this little box. Unsure why, you know. So, got more bubble wrap. This stuff here, if you got a wife like mine, you hide this stuff because she'll sit there all day when you're busy and go, you know, just pop this stuff and it wears me out. Okay. Man, they really don't play around when it comes to this stuff. Okay, get all that jazz out of the way. All right, got it out, all that jazz. It's crazy. It's unreal. They didn't send me a sticker for like the car or anything, but they sent me a sticker on the box. Like, what good is that gonna do me? How am I gonna promote you with a sticker on the box? Okay, so what we got are these ceramic plug ends. And man, them are fancy. Dragonfire Race Series. These are 8.5 millimeter plugs. And then we got, of course, the HEI and non-HEI ends. And then the constructions with the wire looms. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Linda down off the rack, get her down here on the ground where I can reach everything. And we are gonna make our new plugs for Linda, or our new plug wires for Linda, rather. And then on top of this jazz that's supposed to be indestructible, we are gonna put heat shields on them as well. Unfortunately, those are not here yet. But nevertheless, we are gonna get this set up, and then when the heat shields get here, I'll snap them on here. But these look really promising. The only concern I have, to be completely honest with you all, is getting these between the headers. Because, I mean, it is tight in there. So we're gonna have some header contact on these, I promise you, on some of them. And then trying to get these back in there on some of those is gonna be a nightmare. I'd really hate to make the world mad at me and throw stacks on Linda like I did Homer. I don't want to do that, but I promise you I'm not going to be doing this all the time forever. This is getting crazy. I gotta come up with a solution for this header issue, or Linda's getting stacks. But anywho, let's get set up and let's get these things built, shall we? First floor, pots, pans, housewares, going down. Second floor, auto parts, tires, and exhaust accessories. Ground floor. All right then. Stay. Don't move. Holy shnikes, Batman. She's trying to kill me, people, I'm telling you. I know you've seen that. Linda and I just, sometimes it's unreal. All right, guys, I got Linda down here. As you've seen, my hood support failed, so I just got to trust the old level here to hold my hood up. But here's the top side of her engine. We got the header off, got the valve cover off, got some of the plugs out. I mean, this is just a mess. But anywho, so while I'm waiting on the starter, I'm going to go ahead and start on these wires. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2, 4, 6, 8 done over here. So I got my number 2 plug wire pulled from the distributor down to the number 2 plug. I got it pulled. Okay, guys, so I went ahead and got my number 2 wire off of the car. As you guys know, I'm a table nerd, so I got everything set up on my table from shortest to longest, or relatively close, right? So we know this one end is going to plug into the car, to the spark plug itself, and the other end is going to go to the distributor. So I'm going to leave mine a little bit longer so I got some room to play around with wire looms. I mean, you don't want it super long, but you don't want it to where it's super tight in the engine bay either. So let's get this trimmed down. All right, so I'm going to leave mine roughly 4 inches longer than the factory plug I've got here, so I've got some room to loom it. So we'll go ahead and snip. This isn't a science. I'm going to go ahead and just snip her off right there. All right. So now they're recommending 11/16 of an inch here to work with for your boot. So I'm going to measure off here 11/16 of an inch, spitball it, and then give her a little bit of a mark here. Now it's saying use a sharp razor blade. I've got this old pocket knife, so it's just going to have to work. It's either this or a butter knife, and I've probably got one of those laying around too. All right, so I left a little slit in there. And we're going to be very careful just to get the sheathing itself and not get any of the fibers or the conductors underneath it here. So you just give it a little bit of a score there and just work your way around. But you do not want to get that conducting material in there because you're going to need that. And any of you that's in these classic cars and you go to turn your radio on or whatever, and you go to hit the gas and you hear the zzz from your ignition system, that's what it is. Newer cars pretty much got that taken care of, but these old cars, not so much. So just take your time, work your way around, get this sheeting cut off. I'm just going to bend it here a little bit till I get all the plastic. Now I'm just going to give her a twist and a pull and get her out of there. And boom. So you see we've got our wire and then we've got all our conductive material here left over and the sheathing is gone. So that's all out of here. And next what we're going to do is we're going to take our terminal end. We're going to fold this over like so, try to leave a little bit of a gap. And then connect our terminal end and crimp it all together. See what I'm saying? So let me get going on that. And then this plug will be ready to put the boot on. We'll put a little bit of a dielectric grease inside here, a little bit on the terminal end, and put them together. All right, we got all our terminal crimped and set and ready to go. So next is going to be putting on our boot. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to put a little bit of dielectric grease on your boot, a little bit on your terminal end, and then just snap them together. So let's do that. This kit comes with a little packet of dielectric grease. So we're going to take our rusty pocket knife over here and we're just going to make a little slit like so. Just on the corner so you can pinch a little bit of that out. So we're just going to put a dab right there in the end, just like so. Kind of smooth that, lube it up a little bit. Don't get weird. And then what we're going to do is just kind of feed her in there. See how it's going in? All right, now if you can see in there, and get this camera to straighten out. If you look way up in there, you see how everything's good and lined up? So now we've got our number 2 spark plug wire. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna mark this as number 2, okay? That way if it's reference for me, because on the old wires, all of them were marked, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, right? So you get my age, you forget things. So I'm just gonna take and put a number 2 on here, like so. Which my finger slipped, so it was like a, wiped right off, just like downtown. So I got a number 2 on there. Now we're gonna put this on the card and we'll come back and make number 4, number 6, number 8. And then when the starter gets here, when we can put all that back together, we'll put on 1, 3, 5, 7. But these are actually pretty cool. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, my concern is the clearance between my headers. So let's go find out. Okay, I do have some good heat shield left. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a heat shield on this. I'll get this all tucked and banded in a minute. But this also protects up to 2,500 degrees. So let's pray that, you know, it doesn't tear this up. All right, so I'm gonna check my contact on my distributor first. Okay, so the distributor locked right in, we're good there. So now I've got to fish this in and get it down to number 2. All right, now see, I'm already having an issue. Now, this is what I was talking about was my concern. I don't have much clearance between my inner fender and my spark plug wire, or my spark plug itself. And these are tight. I mean, they don't have no bend to them at all. So here's on issue number 1 is this gonna work? So I'm not sure. May have to cut this end off and put a 90 on. All right guys, so we've had an interesting development. I am about a 1/2 inch too long on my ceramic plug cover itself. So after about 3 seconds of consideration and thinking, if you look up in there, I got about 1.5 inches of the rubber seal and the ceramic. So I think what I'm gonna do is just take my whiz wheel and zzz, a 1/2 inch off here. As much as I hate to do it, but sometimes you do what you gotta do. So if this is true ceramic, it's probably just gonna shatter and go into a million pieces, including myself. So don't try this at home. Let's see what happens. Put me a mark here and spitball that. This is so stupid, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Alright, well it did what I thought it was going to do, and that's it just shattered. And it is bloody hot. But it shattered to a point where I think I can work with it. You just never know until you try. Gotta let that cool off a little bit. So I need to try to take a flat disc and smooth this out a little bit without causing too much damage. And then hopefully we don't have to do this too many more times, because, you know, that was just... it's just a shame, but it is what it is. I got to get it to fit. Worst case scenario, I'm just out 1 plug wire and I call Dragonfire and say, hey, I'm an idiot, let's do something. So let me get a flat disc hooked up and let's see if we can just kind of clean that up a little bit. And I'll give this time to cool off so I can get this rubber insert out, because I'm going to have that. Boy, that thing is warm as can be. See if I can get a hold of it with something. I got an old pencil here. Just something, there we go. Feed that back in there. And see if a flat disc will clean that, the rest of that ceramic up. So, hold on. It doesn't look too awful bad. I mean, it's not pretty by any means, but we're gonna see what it does. All right, guys, I got one side done. What I can say positively is, if you go to do this, make sure you check your measurements, make sure you get with Dragonfire or whoever, and get this down before you order them, because I promise you there are no flex to these things like whatsoever. They are true ceramic. They are very, very stiff, and if you got a tight engine bay, it's gonna be a nightmare. So I've got the 2, 4, 6, 8 done. I've got them all loomed up. Now I know a lot of people try to keep these like tucked in close to the engine to make it look pretty. Mine, on the other hand, I'm keeping them out here on the inner fender as far away from that header as I can. But as you can see, I got 2, 4, 6, 8 all put in. I did not put any heat shields on them yet. Those are on the way, but they are in here and they are in place. I wanted black wires, to be honest with you, but they didn't have any, so I had to go with red. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get 1, 3, 5, and 7 cut and made, and then I'll just let them drape over here off to the side until I get this mess put back together. But I mean, I'm really happy with the wires and all that jazz, assuming they work right. I'm concerned with the ceramics. I don't know how they're gonna do with the temps, but we'll find out. Again, I'm gonna put a little extra protection over top of them. But like number 6 is right up on the header. Number 4 is right between 2 sections of the header. Number 4 is, and number 2's up here kind of by itself, but 2 and 8 I think will be fine. But I'm curious how these stiff old ends are gonna work over here in this tight area. The only problem I can see over here is gonna be my power steering pump in the way. Other than that, they should fit okay. I had to take this little pry tool once I got them started and kind of just nudge them all the way in because I couldn't fit my mitts down in there. But we will see. I got to do something. Worst case scenario, if they fail, I'm out 180 bucks. At this point, as deep as I am in wires, what's another 180 bucks matter? So, all right, well, I'm gonna set you up over here. I'll just put you on kind of a time lapse. I'm just gonna build these right here on the car. I'm tired of going back and forth to that table. I only need, like I said, you know, a pocket knife. They recommend a sharp knife. I don't have one of those. And I'll just set it right here on this old fender cover and just knock them all out real quick. All right, guys, they are all cut and mocked up and ready to go. So I'm just gonna leave 1, 3, 5, and 7 dangle here until we get all that put together. But as you know, I can't do none of that until the starter gets here, and it didn't come today. So it's probably gonna be Monday before I get that. But here is our new wire setup on the DUI distributor. So if this seems to work okay and I like the wires, probably gonna do a DUI altogether and just get rid of it. Maybe sell it or give it to another Mopar guy here. And I'll just put a Dragonfire distributor in with all of this, and we'll keep it all uniform. The bad thing is it'll, you know, we run DUI in all of our cars, and I would hate to cut ties with them, but I just can't keep their wires good. So this side's completely done. So as soon as we get the starter on over there, we'll get all that put together and get these on, and we will take Linda for a rip and see how these do. The ultimate test is going to be, you know, through a burnout competition, and after it's all said and done, see what these ceramic ends look like. But in theory, they should be okay. I'm just curious if they're gonna get hot and break, or snap, or crack, snap, crack, or pop. You know, that kind of thing. So, okay, cool. I'm gonna get this jazz cleaned up. We'll kind of get the shop organized. We'll get a hold of Miss Kathy, see if she wants to come down. She's up there making the names for the plates. Good God, what a mess. And we will get the next 3 or 4 plates hung up. I'm kind of started in the middle and going left and right. So I think what I'm gonna do is maybe put 1 there, and then we'll take 2 down this way to kind of even this out. But you know, we've got a lot of people that have donated plates so far. 2 hacks on YouTube, Norm Enderly. That's a dedication plate to Phil Lagerquist. The notorious Bob Miller. I'm gonna have my wife make a thing that says notorious underneath there. You know, my dad, ASO, Auto Salvage Outlaws, and Deborah's Loving Life. He was wondering if that could be seen in a video. There you go, bud. My boy Nick Denny, One-Eyed Cat. And then the Ziegler family sent that in memory of their son, Daniel. So that's up there. All right, so I covered everybody's plates for today. It is just non-stop. My shop's flooding again, crying out loud. Just non-stop rain out here. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Got the old Monte Carlo sitting out there. I got to get it in, but yeah, it'll be all right. Cool. Let me get this jazz cleaned up, and then we will get to everybody that donated a plate put up there. And as soon as Linda comes off there, we've got to get started on Clyde, because yeah, that's coming up in a hurry. Can't wait till Bristol comes, get my boy out. All right, guys, we got Linda done for the day. Got all the wires put on, as you've seen a few minutes ago. So we're just waiting on the starter. Once we get that done, we'll hook all them wires up and get her off this lift and get her ready to go and get going on Clyde. But while we're down here, we've got 3 more plates for the license plate challenge. We've got Canada, we've got New Jersey, and we've got Ohio. And I don't have any of those up there. So we're gonna go ahead and hang those 3 with the people's names that sent them. Might put a couple over here and then 1 down there. Try to kind of keep it spaced out. But anyway, so we're starting to fill up in here. We're gonna have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We'll have a total of 12 of the 50. Or no, we'll have 11 of the 50, and we'll have our first Canadian plates from our friend Darren up there in Canada. So, well, let's get after it. Let's get these hung up there and get these people's names on the wall. Again, we just kind of go plate, space a plate, but this, I'm gonna put Chris's kind of together up here, because he sent a motorcycle plate. That screw ain't never coming out. All right, Chris, we're gonna get your name put up there, brother. You be right there. All right, Chris, there you go, bud. You're on the wall, my friend. Good deal. All right, cool. We're getting ready to do Darren's plates. He sent me 2 from Canada. Got 1 from Brunswick, 1 from Ontario. We're gonna do it kind of like we did Chris's plates. We'll just try to get them both in one spot. That way we're representing both plates. So we'll do the Ontario on the bottom and the Brunswick up top, kind of like so we can get both plates. And we're gonna have to use washers because Darren's plates up in Canada use oval holes instead of round holes. So my screws are popping out through them. All right. There we go. Just like downtown. Boom. There you go, Darren. Now we're gonna get your name put up there, brother. Now Darren made a request with him being from Canada and his plates aren't technically from the US. He asked us to put a little Canadian flag beside his name, and I was 100% down with that. Like I said, Darren's a good dude. He's been with us a long time, so we are gonna do something like that for Darren. And if we get any other like across the pond stickers or across the pond plates, I think we got some come from Sweden or Switzerland like that. If they like that, we could put a flag by their country. I think that's kind of cool to do. So awesome. Let's get this put up here. All right, Darren, you are on the wall, my friend, with your Canadian flag as you requested. Boom. All right, we got one more to do, and that is Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage on YouTube. Go check him out. All right, guys, I went ahead and moved down to this end of the shop. Next, we got Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage from New Jersey, and he sent me like a personalized plate, which is pretty cool. Still from New Jersey, so it really doesn't matter what's on it. As long as it's family friendly, y'all know the deal. You go hold this. I'm gonna risk my life and get up one more step on this ladder. Trying to kill myself. Oh, hello. Okay. So we'll move him down about right there-ish. Okay, there's that. All right, Will. Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage on YouTube is on the wall. So we got Mr. Will's, Two Hacks, Norm Enderly, Phil, Bob Miller, my dad Ed, Auto Salvage Outlaws, Nick Denny, One Eyed Cat, in memory of Daniel Ziegler, Chris Bickholm, and Darren Sager. So to recap, we got Canada, Ohio, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Alabama, West Virginia, Wyoming, Iowa, North Dakota, Illinois, and New Jersey. So we're starting to fill up here. If you guys are interested in sending a plate, send one over for the state we do not have, and we'll put it up on the wall here with your name underneath it. And if you just want to send a plate to be sending it, we will find somewhere else in the shop to put it or use it on a project car. Either way, we will use it for sure. So if you want to get in the license plate challenge, that's what that is. Remember, we have the Homer sticker contest, or the Homer sticker challenge, which ends on the 21st. So those of you that have gotten your stickers, make sure to get your placements done and get that over to me so we can review those. And of course, we get a bunch of people in on that. We're gonna give away a pretty cool giveaway for that. Memberships are out there. You can go check those out. A lot of cool stuff going on in there. And then of course, you guys know giveaways for days going on. So make sure to get on those. Drop a subscribe for me if you don't care while you're in the house, because once we hit 5,000 of those, somebody's getting one of these lifts. Life changing right there. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.